freezing type thing. I spent the first sort of 30 seconds figuring out the controls, just taking a look, making sure I've got everything sorted out before we go and get what is known as our shaker slate. Now, this helps us to kind of navigate around the landscape and things like that. It will help guide you after your long slumber. So I think this game takes place 100 or so years into the future from the last, I think the last Legend of Zelda game, but I haven't played it. You can read these things all at your own leisure if you particularly care. But as you can see, there's just the art in this game is just so amazing, and that is why it's taken me a long time to start this series from when I bought the game, pretty much because I didn't have a proper capture card, so recording Switch gameplay, which is why I'm playing this on the Switch, was always really difficult, and I wanted to record it at 1080p. I was considering doing it at 720 to be less kind of demanding on my laptop, but I thought no, I'll melt my computer, my laptop, just for you guys, so you can see this in all its 1080p glory. So we've got ourselves some sort of well-worn trousers and a sort of tattered shirt to provide a very small amount of defensive bonus, I guess. I discover now that you can pick up and throw barrels and pots all over the place. This is really my first proper Zelda game. I played a Zelda game on the Game Boy Color, I believe, years and years ago, obviously. Fairly certain I was between the ages of about 5 and 8 years old or something, playing that game where you run through the long grass and you kind of break pots, I think, and get gems or something like that. I can't remember very well, but I do remember that you would get like an emerald here and there, and for me that was always just the thrill of finding things. You are the light, our light, that must shine upon Hyrule once again. Now go. So we figured out how to use the shaker slate, and we are about to leave this Shrine of Resurrection, I believe it's called, and make our way out into the world of Hyrule and talk about an atmospheric setting to begin the game. Wow. I mean, isn't that just absolutely beautiful? Now, honestly, I don't think I've played a game quite as beautiful as this game before. I don't have a huge library of games that I've played. I remember this scene talk about Ominous, the old man over the hill. Yeah, I haven't played a whole huge library of games in my time. But from the games that I have played, this one just takes the cake in terms of the artistry and atmosphere that it brings to the player. Games like, I would say, No Man's Sky rival it, but I have to say they're not quite to the same level, because other games are truly beautiful in my eyes because of just how huge and massive they are. Minecraft is beautiful because of what the player makes it, especially if you have shaders on other things. So there are some amazing builders around the world who can create absolutely incredible pieces of art in that game. But this is a singular world, an open world of course, but a singular enclosed world, enclosed by the mountains, that you can not really Sorry. Sorry, that's a bit distracting. I don't think you guys can hear it, but it's just circled my head about 3 times. Sorry, going back to what I was saying. You're in a kind of singular world, enclosed area of Hyrule. Theoretically speaking, I'm sure there are parts of this game where you kind of leave and go to like other dimensions maybe or something. I don't know, I'm just guessing. We're gonna grab ourselves some apples now. But it's not fully open world, if you know what I mean. It's as open world as it can be, I suppose, for the game. But that doesn't matter because the amount of the actual kind of attention to detail, as Skyrim as well, is also like that. In terms of, obviously, it's a limited area, but a massive area, and it is open world, and it is truly beautiful. So we are meeting with the old man for the first time in the game. Now, you guys can feel free to read some of the dialogue if you want. He kind of explains to you the tasks over time that you're going to be set, at least for the early game, which is going to get you set off on your journey in Hyrule and give you an idea of the overall task at hand that you have and the responsibilities that you have in Hyrule. He's showing us the old temple. Ever since the decline of the kingdom 100 years ago, it's sat abandoned in a state of decay. But yeah, I think I have to say, just in terms of, now there's going to be a lot of people who disagree with me, but I find this world of Hyrule on the Switch, no comment to how it's portrayed in other games, I think it is much more beautiful than Skyrim. And the only reason I say that is because for me to get Skyrim to be as beautiful as I know it can be, and as incredibly good as it can be, you need a really demanding PC, and deservedly so. I mean, I do have quite a good PC, and so I have been able, we're just picking some apples there by the way if you're wondering, getting ourselves some nutritious food to heal us up later in the game. But I am capable of, my PC is capable of playing Skyrim with like kind of full graphics and all that. There's also, of course there are also mods that you can put onto the game, but just basic game, it's very demanding. Most people wouldn't be able to play it on their laptop or computer or whatever. So I feel like just in terms of accessibility, this is just on my Switch. I connected it up to my TV and it's just incredible. It just looks incredible. But yeah, that's my opinion. You guys can dispute that in the comments if you care to get into a discussion. Also, guys, I'm a bit late in saying this, but if you do enjoy the video, please feel free to leave a like. I'm recording this on my laptop, so I don't know the quality. I think it will be coming out in 1080p, but if you don't like the way that it's gone, please do feel free to leave a dislike as well. And if you want to get involved with talking about games and talking about just anything in general, feel free to join our Discord. All of the information is in the description. So yeah, that's there for you if that's something that you're interested in. So we're still cooking up our apples, taking it as an opportunity to gain some decent food before we get off. I don't think we actually managed to get that going. I don't think we actually managed to bake that apple. Got ourselves a big wood cutting axe. But there's so many things around the world that you can find and manipulate. Obviously, it's not a sandbox game, so you're never going to be able to manipulate things that are similar as Minecraft or whatever. This is me just being music that kind of starts when one of them approaches you, or you get noticed by a group of them, can be a little bit harrowing, I suppose. So I'll make sure the music isn't too loud and too distracting for you guys. I'm trying to see if we can break open this barrel right now, which we can't. I thought there might be some sort of goodies in there. If we throw it, it breaks open, but I don't think there's much of that. But we've come across our first kind of bokoblin campsite, where there's a good number of them, and we get a rude awakening here. Thankfully, it only takes off 1.5 hearts, but they picked up one of those big explosive barrels and just threw it straight at us, which didn't go down too well. So we tried to take them on. Our first bokoblin club broke, and things do break quite easily. It seems like at least the early game weapons. I don't know about the maybe there's a chance to repair your items further in the game. I've actually recorded 2 episodes of this so far. This one and then directly after it, so there's no gap. But then yesterday I didn't have much of an opportunity to play, to record. Sorry, but I did want to play, so I played a little bit. I played a couple of quests, or at least followed the quest line for about an hour. Kind of discovered all the shrines, if you're familiar with the game. And there I am, just testing out the explosives. And I thought, it might be quite fun just to play a little bit on my own. So yeah, maybe we've missed a little bit together, but I don't think it matters too much. There's so much to this game that, really, you miss out on a couple of quests here and there. I don't think it's too much. I'll just catch you up with what I've kind of done. I'll go through the quest line and show you what I've been up to. But for now, we're just this episode is much more about just kind of exploring what you can do in the game, what you can manipulate. Obviously picking up barrels and whatnot. I'm picking up one of these explosive barrels. This could have gone very, very badly, because I believe that they're actually archers, these bokoblins. So as you can see, they're aiming them at the barrel. And I thought as soon as one of them hit, as you can see, there's an arrow sticking out of the explosive barrel. I thought that as soon as one of these hit, it didn't even explode. I thought that it would. I thought as soon as it hit the ground, it would explode, but clearly not. But we tried to get a bit of distance, and those bokoblins with their bows and arrows are going to be the first opportunity for us to take those weapons and get ourselves a bow and arrow, which is probably my favourite weapon. The only problem is there is a severe lack, or at least a severe shortage of arrows in and around the game. There may be an opportunity to make them. I don't think there really is, but this is me getting very close to dying, as I'm so determined to use the explosive barrel on those guys. I really wanted to see if I could throw it down and blow them up, but as you go further into the game and you complete some of the quests, it becomes apparent that you don't really need to be able to manipulate those little barrels, because you get a number of these abilities that I believe are linked to they're linked to your shaker slate, but they also might just be because you are Link. You play as Link, and Link has access to these types of abilities, so you can kind of summon these bombs, and you can summon this kind of magnetic ability, and the ability to stop time as well in certain scenarios, and certain kind of how would you call it? Not really mini games, but parts of quests. You can manipulate the environment using these abilities, and you learn them from the kind of information distilleries, I guess you can call them, that are linked to different quests. So I don't know I think you might come across one of them in this video. We certainly come across another one in the next episode. Now, if you are enjoying or can see yourself very much enjoying this series, I'm going to do as many as I can, but obviously you guys know that I am on holiday at the moment. As you can see, I've got myself a bow and arrow. I'm testing it out on those guys over there, and clearly you don't know my range because we get absolutely nowhere near him. We try a little bit higher, and it's still way short, so we're just getting an idea of the kind of range of our bow and arrow at least. But yeah, the next episode will probably be out in a week or something. We've got a number of different series going on. I may record a third one before the end of my holiday, which is I get back on the 18th of August. As you can see, I'm very much struggling with with aiming my bow and arrow. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna continue the series when I get home as well, so don't worry. But the episodes probably will be quite sparse, I suppose, as I'm here, because it is quite difficult to record using my laptop, which is a MacBook. It's not the best for kind of video editing. It's not bad, but it's not very good for recording either. And it means that, as you can see with this video, I've had to record the commentary after the actual video recording itself, just because my computer, when it's recording, makes so much noise that it's just not really a viable option. There's also a lot of background noise, as you might be able to hear my upstairs neighbour at the moment. It's making a bit of noise walking across the floorboards and things, so I hope that's not too distracting for you either. But we're inputting the shaker slate into the shaker tower, which is where we get the first big shaker activation, I guess, of these sort of ancient powers of the area. So I'll let you take a look at this because it really is quite incredible. Now I hope the frame rate doesn't drop too much in this one. In the next video, in episode 2, there are definitely some frame rate issues. But these huge shaker towers, I believe they're called, the ancient towers, begin to sprout out of the ground like bamboo shoots all across the land of Hyrule, in and around the area. Left, right, and miles apart from each other. Huge skyscrapers in terms of their size, clearly activated by some sort of ancient power. And we've been risen high out of the ground on the kind of platform that is attached to the top of this tower, the Greater Plateau Tower. So this tower is obviously located on the Great Plateau, which is the sort of big plains area that we're currently on. And this is one of those information distilling stones that I was talking to you before about. I can't remember exactly what they're called. Maybe we'll find out. But it's giving us some information, and the information it gives us is the map, the Great Plateau regional map, and that will help us to navigate around the Great Plateau easily before we are able to leave the Great Plateau using the old man's paraglider that he'll eventually give to us once we have completed a number of different tasks for him. You have been asleep for the past 100 years. Now we're about to see the beast, the monstrosity that is Ganon, I believe his name is. And the beast regains its true power, the world will face its end. Calamity Ganon, I think his name is. I have to admit, pretty harrowing. Now then, you must hurry, Link, before it's too late. So that sets up the rest of the world quite neatly, I believe. And the next thing on our list is to follow the shaker slate. And we have to eventually go and speak to the old man who will help us on our journey and give us some tasks and set us at least vaguely on our way and where we should